while all that's been happening as well, you know, you talked about wasting time. Raven is at the top of the net worth on the Ursa. Just closely followed by Alacrity on the SF, but the Ursa does just seem a little bit more scary to go up against if he's farmed up this much. It looks like he is just going to rush the drums. Alacrity, though, understands this, does make his way up top. They have the jewel available on the Legion Commander, but they can't really close the gap on Raven. We've seen nice rotations coming in from Geek Fam once again. It does seem like RR understand that there are hero rotations coming in, and they don't want to have to deal with that. So they will back off for a bit and perhaps just apply pressure down to that bot lane. Though I say that, Cuckoo does not seem concerned by the 3 heroes down here. In fact, he's just trying to fight back to Drew. And he will even be in the end. But again, you'll see a bit of a rotation from RR. It will lead to absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and this again buys time up top for Geek Fam to apply their own pressure. They are trying to posture around, trying to find Alacrity, but they couldn't quite land a torrent. So you are seeing both sides really to one lane and try to apply pressure there.
Oh, Alacrity torn it up, and here comes Raven. He's in big trouble. They'll heal him up, but Alacrity trying to channel the Requiem. It'll be no good, and now KYXY, he'll be chased down as well. Raven, can he keep up? Not quite, but they found both bounties, I believe. And of course, they will be able to get control of that northwest-south post, or excuse me, outpost. Geek Fam continuing to find everything off this map. They've got a slight net worth lead, but that net worth lead is only set to grow as Alacrity is starting to fall behind on the SF.
Yeah, you're also seeing a lot of kills going the way of Geek Fam, so they've got a decent amount of EXP for themselves now as well. And that's just going to make it so much harder to contest. I mean, you take a look at Dubu. He's level 6 in this IO already, so he's going to be able to be all around the map as soon as they want. And Cuckoo and Dubu can now just go in, stun someone up, and just find these kills across the map.
Certainly can.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
We'll probably see that very, very soon. So Cuckoo is just set on forcing down that T1 bot tower. And of course, you were talking about this before, John, but these towers are so much more important because they give you control of those outposts a lot easier. Looks like Cuckoo. And they continue applying that pressure. Bash in one hit. He's going to go for it and does do so. There's the stun following up as well. So Alacrity is here with the rotation. They'll disrupt the slider, but Cuckoo is going to be surrounded and looks like he should die though. Oh, the relocate wasn't there in time. Cuckoo does lose his life. Now the IO going to be in an awkward position, but Ryoya is here to help out. They want to try and fight this Raven. There's the buyback on Cuckoo. They're going to make their way back. Tether Alacrity. Requiem will be channeled. It does go out. The boat flies out as well, but doesn't really connect on the SF. The turret will connect on too. Now they're running Alacrity. He gets bursted down by Raven. Drew's the next target. Can they keep up? He tries to jump forward, but KYXY will get the infest off with Legion, and now they'll go after Hustler instead on the Leshrac, and he's just a sitting duck. He'll go down and they'll clean up that T1 bot tower.
Yeah, that's a rough trade for Reality Rift. They don't really find anything from that. They did find Cuckoo earlier on, but with the losses you took and the tier 1 falling down, that just makes it much harder to contest this outpost now. And as mentioned, you know, that gives a lot of gold and a lot of map control these days. So it's a big loss for Reality Rift, and that's going to make it much harder for them to secure that bot area.
And RR, they have to be careful about how much land they give away to Geek Fam. You don't want to give away too much map control in this patch, because that jungle farm is just so important in the mid game now. Still though, how do you slow down this Ursa and this Sparta for that matter? It doesn't really seem like you can, or you don't really have the tools for it. You look at Geek Fam as well, they aren't split up, they're just sticking us for the whole time, ensuring they don't get caught out with the jewel from the Legion. Go for that mid T1 now.
Radiant structures are
Looks like there will be no real defense coming out from RR, but they do fortify. So, relocate. Where are they going? Top lane. It looks like they find Zephyr on the Shadow Beam thanks to Hustler, but now with the relocate, they are in trouble though. No, never mind. Dubu, he's lost his life to Hustler. And now they're and Morioya. They're just beating kills away right now. Cuckoo, he's surrounded. He'll go ahead and take down Nuts on the Ogre, but how do you fight 4 heroes, sir? Raven is just going to come in and run away. He doesn't want to borrow that. They'll find the 4th kill. And RR. It looked bad for them for a second, but Hustler was just burning them alive.
Oh yeah, you've got to respect the magic damage that does come out of the Lesh at this point. You don't have any mitigating items to, you know, really reduce that damage as well. So Leshrac is at his full force now. Level 8, 14 minutes in, pretty much the best point for support Lesh, and that is showing. Hustler is just melting towers and heroes now. You've got to really watch out. You can't afford to zoom in one by one like that. You've got to apply all your pressure at once and try to concentrate that team fight. Otherwise, you're just going to melt. The Leshrac has good damage. The Shadow Fiend Alacrity still does great damage as well. He's got his Yules up now, so he's got added control and possibly a huge bomb just if he gets that Yules Requiem off. So you have all the tools now for RR to take these fights, and Geek Fam, their lead isn't that massive. It's still less than 1k at 15 minutes in.
It's certainly still a very even game. They'll go for a bit of a fight over these 15-minute bounty runes. Other side really trying to take the outpost away from each other at this rate. Raven gonna find Drew, but can't really keep up with the lifestealer.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Both bottom bounty runes just being left alone. They're just sitting there right now. Neither side really making their way there. Like, RR, what's the game plan here? They may try to force in that mid-tier 1. Cuckoo is there, standing his ground, but clearly surrounded in just a moment. In fact, there's the Yules coming out. Hustler, can he get the follow-up? He definitely can. The disruption is there, but they'll get the jewel off thanks to K1. Next one, now the Requiem. They'll just burst both of them down. Alacrity with the double. They want to chase for more. I don't believe they'll have the lockdown for the other 2. But it doesn't matter. 2 hero kills and a mid-tier 1, and perhaps even a mid-tier 2.
Structures are fortified.
Oh yeah, just one bad counter fight from Geek Fam and suddenly you lose a lot of ground on the map. You can't afford to do that same mistake. They've done that at the top lane, streaming 1 by 1. They do it again down mid, and it cost them even more objectives there. So they've got to watch out. You've got to respect this power spike on RR. They are really applying that pressure quite well. That tier 2 up top, not going to be standing for too long now.
Diabolic Edict, still a very powerful spell throughout this new patch. They'll claim it. You see Alacrity now, he does have the DOTs up, so he can just be all across the map.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
The item progression coming out from Geek Fam, it's been a little bit slow, it feels like, for the past 5 minutes or so. I say that, but Raven and the Kunkka do find something. The Heaven's Halberd and Bash are coming up. So that could change the way these team fights are turning out. Feels like they've got to find the jump on the right targets. I mean, it's not really the lifesteal that appears to be the problem right now. It's more so just Alacrity on the SF and the Leshrac being played by Hustler that's dealing all the damage.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire are scanning.
Smoke coming out from Geek Fam though. Zephyr. It's there with Ryoyo and Cuckoo. Where are they headed? Are they going to the Roshan pit? Bit risky to try for it this early on, but it looks like they just may. You look at that positioning from RR. They're in the Dire side jungle. This is perfect from them. They're going to have the high ground as well. If Geek Fam get this smoke broken, Hustler, he'll go in there and he'll break it straight away. Can he survive long enough though? He doesn't have a Yules available, but he cops the boat. Now that's done, and it looks like RR are not going to help him out. They'll let him just go down. That was actually a fair bit of gold going to the way of Kunkka.
Yeah, not the worst trade in the world. I mean, you know, it's a support Lesh in the end of the day. Even with all those kills, you're not going to mind throwing away your support like that. It is still not a kill you'd want to give away, considering how much ahead you are. I mean, it's still less than, it's still about a K lead for a Reality Rift. You still don't want any way of these heroes going back in, though.
We've seen Nuts going down up at the top lane as well. He was just trying to force in that top wave, and he does do so, but Geek Fam, well, they send Cuckoo and Zephyr down, and they just clear him up. So a 10 to 13 now, that net worth lead is still only less than 1k to Geek Fam. In fact, you have a look at that net worth graph and it's just been all over the place. So we'll see if either side can gain a real advantage throughout this game, as it hasn't happened quite yet. And the win probability, John, currently at 50-50. A very even game indeed.
Yeah, it's just been a constant back and forth. Map control, fairly even. I'd give RR a slight lead there, but, you know, all of these heroes still have a lot of room to grow. Still have a lot of ways of turning these fights, so no one's out of it just yet. I think the one thing that is going to be playing in RR's favor is that early Philosopher's Stone on Hustler. So they got a nice lucky drop there for their support. He's just going to be constantly building gold up, so he's still going to grow in itemization despite not farming as much.
Fair point. Of course, if Harry Potter's taught me anything, John, that stone is no good. So you shouldn't have the stone if you are a, you know, if you're a young child, young magician in Hogwarts or something like that. Probably should have made a Full Metal Alchemist reference, John, but I'm not a weeb like you are.
Oh, shut up, Mike.
Shout out to all the FMA fans out there, by the way. Fantastic anime. That's where you agree with me, John. Don't call me a casual for liking.
I mean, I agree with you. I just haven't watched it myself, okay?
Roshan is going on. I'm going to ignore I heard that, John. Alright, I'm going to go for an early Roshan.
Yeah, with that Desolator up on Drew, it's going to go really fast. He did go for that, and it is going to help them out here. So the early rush, no contest coming out from Geek Fam. It's going to be a bit rough fighting into this.
They aren't even gonna. They'll just leave it be. See the illusion come in from Ryoya, but it is just that. Just an illusion. It looks like RR now moved their way up to the top lane. They know Zephyr's around there. Drew won't really catch him out. In fact, no, they're pinging him out. They know the location, but he will TP out to safety.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
8 knots and full ahead.
Smoke, gonna be broken straight away. Nuts. Nice heals coming out. They'll just stop Cuckoo from doing what he wants, and now there's follow-up stun as well. But Raven is there to rip apart Nuts. The Ogre does just disappear, and now can they find any more? They'll have the blink up in 3 seconds. KYXY trying to outrun them, but there's the drums being popped. Cuckoo, he'll find the stun. KYXY does need some help, and it looks like it is finally coming in as Cuckoo now, copping a fair bit of damage. Hustler with the follow-up stun as well. They're trying to heal him up, but it's not going to be enough, and now Raven just wants to get out of there. The relocate, he got used up while he was trying to do it, and now he gets jeweled up as well. KYXY finding another. Geek Fam, it looked pretty good at the start. Unfortunately, they just dove a bit too deep. And RR, they aren't even done yet. They're looking for more. They'll go after the tier 2 instead. Fortification has been forced. But I dare say that Geek Fam's draft is starting to drop off a bit.
It definitely looks that way. RR is really playing around their power spikes quite well. They've still got the Aegis up. They've got all the damage in the world. You don't have anything like BKBs coming out yet from Geek Fam. So that damage is not going to be mitigated. Nothing like a pipe as well. So it's just a rough time. You're copying a lot of magic damage and physical now coming out from Drew. You don't really have a response. You've got to get these fights in your favor. So far, Geek Fam has been counter-initiating a lot. Or if they have been initiating, they've been chasing into tier 2s. So they've got to take better fights, perhaps plant some deeper wards, get some better information on the map, because right now, Reality Rift, they've got really good vision on the enemy jungle, and that just slows down Geek Fam's plays that much more.
RR take another bot T1. They'll go straight after tier 2 now. Geek Fam, they can't keep allowing these towers to go down so quickly, but it looks like they don't have a choice in the matter. To make matters worse, Alacrity now has his full BKB up. You've also got one coming out on Raven, but I don't know if it's going to be as effective. We'll find out soon as they're knocking on the tier 3 towers. But RR, they do back off to safety. No reason to force this issue that quickly. And now they do obtain a 2k net worth lead on the Radiant side. So, Cuckoo gonna jump in straight onto KYXY, but he gets jeweled immediately. He has no help, John. They relocate him out. Dubu, he doesn't even have it. Cuckoo, he does go down to the coming in, and now Dubu, he'll be chased down by Hustler. Looks like he's just dead. Raven, he pops the BKB. He's going to try and man fight. The buyback is there from Cuckoo and a nice double stun. Now the follow-up at Alacrity, he pops his own BKB. He just wants to make a run for it. Requiem, no, he gets bashed. Drew, though, pops out straight after Raven. They'll take him out. They got the dieback off onto Cuckoo, and now Ryoya just trying to get the hell out of there. But it looks like Hustler is on the chase. And, well, that was not the smartest idea, Ryoya. He went for a swipe on the wave. He got fortified anyway, and he is going to end up dying.
Oh, yeah. That's rough for Geek Fam. That's going to open up their entire set of tier trees, and those towers just melt really fast, especially since Hustler is still looking pretty healthy. So those towers aren't going to be standing up for too long, and there are no buybacks available for Geek Fam.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's bottom barracks are under attack.
That's the first racks going down. RR just look too darn strong.
Bottom barracks is Dire's
They'll get a
bottom
second as well, or at least a secondary tier 3. Raven gonna try and fight. He can't afford to die right now, though. He doesn't have the buyback gold. They'll leave him be, but Geek Fam, are they really gonna chase? They'll think better of it. They can now go for shrines, and that's exactly what they'll do. They'll still have an Aegis available as well, so I believe they should have enough time to try and force that mid-high ground, or just go for the top.
Yeah, there's really no reason not to at this point. You're not waiting on any major items anymore. Reality Rift is still pretty set in their power spike. They've got 9k network lead, 17 to 15, 25 minutes in. They've got pretty good control on the map, although there is some vision now coming out from Geek Fam. They've got some vision, although the Aegis does expire right then. So perhaps they're going to wait for next Roche. I still don't see it, though. I do believe RR understands their strength at the moment. They're not going to be holding back too much. It's really on Geek Fam to try to play catch-up now. They've got to close out that network gap. They've got to maximize this BKB on Raven much more than they have right now. The issue is he's just being kited around way too much.
Yeah, he hasn't been very lucky with those bashes. It's really relying on Cuckoo, it feels like, to get those massive stuns off, but I mean, we saw the previous team fight. He started off, he just had no help. Just a little overconfident from Cuckoo. He may try again. He's got his team following him up now. They see Drew, but Drew has help behind himself. There's the sun coming up, but Nuts will run in, but still, they just melt him straight away, and now they can definitely follow up. Straight onto Nuts on that Ogre. It looks like the rest of RR are just going to make a run for it. And I feel like that's the kind of pickoffs they need to find if they wish to bring themselves back into this game.
Absolutely. That's exactly what they need to keep doing. Just try to smoke up, try to find moments when you know the Lifestealer is vulnerable and he has no backup. If he has no backup, really easy to hold down. Lifestealer just melts to the Ursa, especially with that Basher. So you've just got to manage to find those opportunities. And as long as Geek Fams keep finding those kills for the next, I don't know, about 5 minutes or before the next push, they could set themselves up to regain a lot of map control.
Game plan here from RR. It looks like they are planning on waiting out the Roshan. Naturally, Geek Fam understand they can't really allow it to go the way of RR once again, because that would be just disastrous for them. Dubu gonna get caught out though. The Yules from Alacrity, he unfortunately Yules himself. And that'll mean that Dubu will walk away with his life intact. Bit of an unfortunate mistake there from the SF. Geek Fam, are they going to smoke again? They've grouped up. They've got a smoke on Dubu. Got the Vanguard coming out now on Raven, so it looks like he might just go for the Abyssal up next.
Yeah, I actually, that's it. Yeah, he has the Abyssal up. So you have a lot more utility on Raven. You have a lot of longer time to really burst someone down. That should allow Raven to find these solo kills he really needs.
Smoke's about to come out, though. They are going into an AC on the Lifestealer now, so it's that added armor may help RR out quite a bit. Geek Fam gonna loop around. They understand the positioning of the Radiant side right now. They've just got to find the opening they want. But RR seem to be quite aware of what's going on as well. And they will smoke up themselves. Question: they find the side of Geek Fam, or do they just try and use KYX by bait? Looks like they do just jump in Cuckoo straight away onto the Legion, but they're not doing enough damage quite yet. Never mind, perhaps they are, and they do burst him down, and now they go straight after Dubu. He's gone. Zephyr goes down on the Shadow Demon as well, and it looks like Geek Fam are falling behind, but they'll buy back straight away and relocate in. Now though, they've jeweled up the Ursa. They can't get him out of there. Dubu is going to be in trouble. He needs more time to relocate, but he can't. He'll go down. Cuckoo now, he loses his life, and there's only one left to be taken, and it is going to be Ryoya on the Kunkka. He's got no way out of this. He is just gone. John, that's 4 heroes without buybacks available. Side of Geek Fam down. The only man left standing is going to be Zephyr, who brought back to defend. Certainly that's going to be enough.
Oh, it's definitely not. You've got Leshrac who can melt the towers. You've got massive right-click damage coming out from all the cores in RR now. These objectives will not stand for too long. They did, expend all their money on these items, especially that Abyssal on Raven. And that cost him his buyback, so he's just not going to be there. Even if he respawns now and dies again, he's still not going to have buyback. So it's just a rough spot for Geek Fam. They're going to have to pay for their mistakes here.
They'll pay with 1 Rax at least. Of course, the mid-Rax is still exposed, and it looks like RR are going to take full advantage of that. The Geek Fam are respawning, but it's still going to be a disadvantageous situation for them as it's a 3v5. But they'll leave it be. They are up against Megas now. This is about as rough as it gets for Geek Fam. There's still always the comeback potential, but when you're 14k net worth behind against Megas, and now Roshan's going to be taken as well, it's hard to see how they do it.
Yeah, it's just going to be really hard now. You have ways of clearing out these waves. The Kunkka does pretty good. The SD can kind of hold it off. It's still an uphill battle. You're down 14k net worth.
Raven's got to go try for this Roshan. He hasn't made space in the back though, but they jump in straight after Leshrac. Hustle still hustle though. The survivor, now they've lost Dubu on the IO. This could be it for Geek Fam as the duel comes out. Cuckoo, he does jump in with the stun, but he's being controlled as well. There's just no winning this one for Geek Fam, it seems. Raven, he'll manage to run out of there. Well, they're still following, they're still trying to find more targets. It looks like they will find Zephyr on the Shadow Demon. Ursa, Raven.
Oh.
Jumps in after Nuts, gets the Fire Blast, enrages there. Cuckoo, he'll follow up, but gets Yules up as well. Torrent will assist. The Alacrity kept going down, but Cuckoo, he's overextended. They're trying their best to make something out of nothing, but they're losing everything as Alacrity finds the Ursa. There's the GG call being made, and RR. That's 5 in a row. Up against Geek. This team just looks unstoppable, John. They look
They definitely.
Radiant team ban.
One, we saw RR dominate another team. Game number 2, I need you to tell me, what do Geek Fam need to do differently to pull off this victory?
Seconds. Radiant team pick.
Admiral Conquer.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Oh, absolutely.
Radiant
Of course, they did go into that first pin Kunkka again, so they don't seem to think that the Kunkka was the problem. They will pick up the Leshrac straight into the Legion. If it's not broken, you don't fix it, John. And that's exactly what RR are doing. They're just going for the exact same thing that worked the first time. Geek Fam, however, I don't know if I like the Kunkka first pick. I'll be honest, I know the Kunkka offers a lot of utility. I know there's many ways to play him now, especially with that Aghanim Scepter upgrade. I'd love to see something different though from this Dire side.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Geek Fam. Oh, I love this. The Zephyr special, John. He brings out the Rubik. If there's anything that's going to win Geek Fam this game, I mean, he is a very, very scary Rubik player. I said the same thing about the Shadow Demon in the previous game, and obviously it didn't work out as we had kind of expected. However, this Rubik is a little more different when it comes to Zephyr. He just tends to make magic happen.
Seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
Yeah, certainly so. Of course, RR, one more ban for them before we get to see where either of the drafts are headed. They got rid of Undying as that 4th ban. They seem to like playing against that at all.
5 seconds.
So they might spend a little more time on this 5th one.
Radiant team pick.
In fact, never mind, they'll get rid of the Aya that was being played by Dubu last game. He was making some decent plays happen, just wasn't as effective as you would have hoped. So Geek Fam will definitely be forced to go something different. I highly doubt they go for the Ursa again. We did see Raven. He did bring out the Terrorblade yesterday. Now, mind you, that was up against the Lifestealer. And of course, the Lifestealer isn't going to be in this game, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him bring out that Terrorblade.
Dire team pick.
Ancient apparition.
And AA, like you said, already going to be quite potent in this game.
5 seconds remaining.
Geek fam. Start diving into the reserve time. Thinking about what's going on here.
Radiant team pick.
Faceless Void.
Alright. Raven, Faceless Void, we've seen this quite a few times and he does play the hero very well. Of course, there were a couple changes made to the Void and it does seem to be still very, very powerful. And as such, it doesn't really seem like RR have a counter to it quite yet, so it does seem like a smart pick from Geek Fam.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Certainly so. I wonder though what Reality Rift do go for to try and counter that Void. Plenty of options, but it looks like they are looking for some core pickups now. Could always put that Leshrac in the core position as well and pick up another support, and of course, I mean, you wouldn't really want the Bane when you already have an AA. Doesn't really seem very suitable with this draft. What else could they grab though?
Dire team pick.
Sven stands ready.
Well, Superman himself comes out, John. The Sven. Aghanim Scepter Sven is quite a sight to behold, and we haven't had the pleasure of seeing it in a pro game yet. I can only pray that we see it this time. John, the Sven, it does seem quite powerful in this patch.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Venomancer.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Certainly is. Of course, the final ban out's now coming out as well. Winter Wyvern was the ban from RR, which that's an interesting ban considering it would have been really well placed up against that Void, but I suppose they don't have the space for it. Of course, Geek Fam could have used the same thing up against the Sven, so it does make enough sense to ban it out.
10 seconds
Geek
remaining.
Fam though, one more ban for them.
5 seconds remaining.
I do believe Geek Fam will probably run that Jungle Venomancer we've been seeing from yesterday, but it seems like Reality Rift believe that they're going for another support. Unless they're assuming it's a core Wyvern, which I couldn't imagine, but you never really know. It is a new patch after all. Well, there was one case back when we first started casting in a little tournament called Echo League, John. That was a long time ago. It did. Good old days. Yeah. 30 seconds reserve time left. Keep ticking it down. I mean, RR, it's either a support or another core coming out. It's just a question of what the Leshrak's being placed in. I imagine they will run the position 4 Leshrak and just have another position 2 in the mid lane for the sign of the Radiant anyway. Oh, and there's the Meepo being banned out. Fair enough. Alacrity did play a pretty mean Meepo yesterday. Oh! Elder Titan pops out. Fair enough.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Choose your heroes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Geek Fam will see if they can revolve around that chrono timing well enough. Of course, RR, like you said, don't have to.
5 seconds.
They have very low cooldowns and they can be much more aggressive than what Geek Fam can be. But only time will tell. Of course, it's going to be very important for both sides to get these laning stages going well for themselves. Surprisingly enough, I mean, I say surprisingly, it's not too surprising, but Cuckoo is playing the offlane Venomancer. And I was mentioning to you before, we saw yesterday that the Venomancers that were being picked up were mostly being run in the jungle. And they were allowing the a solo offlane, which was, you know, not that effective. I'm not gonna lie, but perhaps Geek Fam could pull it off. We'll see if Cuckoo does just go into the jungle or to remain in the lane instead. Game number 2, about to begin between Geek Fam and Rift. Of course, this is the second game of the BO2, and of course, in true SCA fashion, John, it wouldn't be a Southeast Asian game without a pause going on straight off the bat. And this, of course, gives us, the hard-working casters, a chance to have a little bit of a break. Are you trying to tell an Australian person that you have bad internet, John? And are you expecting pity? I guess ours is kind of held together by false promises from our government, John. I'd prefer the tape and string, I'll be honest. We are gonna have a go. Dubu. Yep, the go-ahead's there. I'm pausing very, very soon. So again, like we talked about, these laning stages between both teams is going to be very, very important. Well, an immediate smoke will come out from Geek fam, but they might want to get some vision down very, very early. And I think they understand that Reality Rift, they can be so much more aggressive in these early stages of the game. So rather than just being in the blind or in the dark, rather they put up those early wards, ensure they can't get ganked up too easily, and perhaps make some rotations themselves early on.
Thirty seconds to battle.
Perhaps both teams just posturing around those banner rune spots. So Raven will find out the hard way that Hustler is already there with KYXY. You'll see the Elder Titan being played by Dubu coming in, trying to force Alacrity out of there. KYXY will man up and will swipe the banner rune away from the side of Geek fam. That'll mean a 3-for-1 trade, so already a very early advantage for this Radiant side. KYXY going for a bit of a creep pull. Looks like bot lane. We might have the first blood. Nuts. Yeah, he goes down, and Cuckoo will go down as well. Cuckoo does manage to find Nuts just beforehand. He'll get the XP and the bonus gold. And so a nice little start for Geek fam. You do see the punishment from RR immediately, but of course the Dire side is going to be much happier about that.
Nothing for your troubles.
Looking at that mid lane, Ryoya up against Alacrity. This is not the easiest of lanes for a Conquer. Alacrity can just sustain the lane so easily, although that's a lot of tier 1 damage Alacrity, but he'll Fairy Fire up, he'll be okay.
Is under attack.
And as I was saying, Ryoya should have a difficult time as long as Alacrity doesn't dive the tier 1 like that. The top 10 of XY again trying to go for a creep pull. Dubu is going to try and stop him and at least punish him a bit. Anyway, XY is just such a tanky Legion commander. Just kind of turn around, hope for the moment of courage to proc. Looks like he will be able to successfully pull this wave over though. Dubu cannot stop him. Was I just looking back to that mid lane where Ryoya, every time I look at him, he's just so low in HP. He'll salve up, but that's the amount of regen he had. He does have some tangos queued up as well as the bottle, but just seems like he's spending so much more gold just trying to get that regen back up. Oh, Hustler does find the kill onto Hustler, but Zephyr goes down to the Diabolic Edict. It was a battle of the supports, but Cuckoo interrupted John. And well, with the Gale, he does find the kill onto the Leshrac just before his own Rubik goes down.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Poison Sting is just so annoying to play up against. He just keeps kicking you down with that dot damage though. Stormhammer will come out. They are going to make just haste, but Cuckoo will be able to walk away for now as Hustler needs to get the hell out of there. Of course, you saw the rotation there from Dubu as well at the perfect time. Geek Fam, they will reset with themselves. There's a very good lift coming out from Zephyr, just ensuring that Hustler couldn't follow up with the split earth. Have a try versus trialing situation now. It does allow Raven though to basically free farm the top lane. Like KYXY is not going to be able to shut this void down at all. So Raven should farm very, very well. Cuckoo ended up going down to the bot lane. Dubu almost stopping that kill, but wasn't quite there. Zephyr looks to chase. They are going after the bounty runes now, but again, RR are going to find a 3-for-1 trade on those bounties. In fact, they might find Dubu on the Elder Titan. And do they? No, not quite. He will survive on 15 HP. Cuckoo will return back into the lane as the Venom. And so, but this tri-lane so far does seem to suit RR much more.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Chrono top lane, it'll be the first one of the game. Raven, he just wanted to secure the kill onto KYXY. Doesn't want to play any games. He just needs to hit him once and get a bash as well to find that kill. It's a Chrono on cooldown, but like you talked about in the draft phase, Raven loves to do this. He just never allows that Chrono to be off cooldown at all.
No.
Zephyr getting chased in the bot lane now. Hustler, in fact, they'll go after Cuckoo instead. Cuckoo, a bit of a sitting duck. The cold feet is not going to proc, but they got the split earth in time. Lift was not there fast enough, and Cuckoo has no way out. They may find a trade, or maybe they won't. Zephyr, in fact, no, he'll find two of them with the Fade Bolt, and now trying to outrun. He'll salve up, he'll survive another day. It looks like he will outrun. Not so no. The cold feet will be there. Still, I'm not sure who that goes in favor of. In fact, looking at the gold change, it looks like Geek Fam do win out. Well, the problem really is Alacrity on the Necrophos, who's top of the net worth board and doesn't seem to give any care in the world. Beside a Geek Fam, he's gonna go ahead and push in that tier 1 with Hustler, but here comes Ryoya with the X, throws in the boat straight away onto the Leshrac, and it will connect Dubu. He'll be there with the follow-up slump as well. Can they burst down this Leshrac? No, they definitely cannot. KYXY will be there with the heal to ensure his Leshrac survives. So we sit at a 5-5. They do hold on to that mid-tier on the side of Geek Fam, but RR, they're certainly starting to apply that pressure. he might find Ryoya. He does soak a bit of XP off those stacks he's taking. Zephyr, not going to be happy about this. The cold feet will be there. Hustler, we won't be able to lock him down, but they got that T1 mid tower. That's all they came for. And that's going to open up the map quite a bit for this Radiant side. Back Ryoya now will get spotted out by Hustler on the Leshrac. He's to farm, not too concerned about this. Hustler looking for a way in. He does steal one creep away and will actually get another one as well. Meanwhile though, bot lane, it looks like Dubu's been caught out. Drew is just solo killing off this Elder Titan, and with that God strength, it really is not much of a problem. And so that'll make it a 6-5 now, and unlike the Kunkka on the other side of the map, Drew is freely farming that jungle.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Of course, there was a kill up top as well, though. KYXY did end up going down. Raven again committing that chrono as soon as it was off cooldown. And so that's the second one of the game. Straight up to that Legion commander. Raven does have the Midas up now as well. Only problem is that Midas isn't going to help in defending this T1 tower that's being taken down by Hustler. Fortified already. Looks like slowly but surely they'll tick away this T1, and it should just go down.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
See the side of RR posturing around that dire side jungle. They know that Raven's farming the jungle, they just don't really have a way to close the gap on him right now.
Radiant's
Nuts
middle
though.
tower is
He's
under
gonna stick
attack.
around, waiting for an observer ward to be dropped so he can just get the D ward off. He won't be so lucky though. Meanwhile, Ryoya decides to plant a mango tree by the Roshan pit. Not sure what the point of that is, but I suppose having mangoes on the floor isn't such a bad thing.
Clear as clean water.
Regeneration.
What about the mangoes? Oh, he came back for it. Never mind. He got it. Icefrog wouldn't have been happy about that had it been left alone. It's nuts. Interesting positioning from him right now. He's just holding on to that outpost. Not really sure what he's going to get done by himself, but you could see a rotation come in from RR to help him out. In fact, it looks like that is exactly what's happening. Hustler, he'll rotate up on the Lesh. No vent wards. Be able to scout him out before he closes the gap. Nuts now being scouted out. Cuckoo though, Ice Blast will connect. Cold Feet is there though. Cuckoo will be able to outrun it. Still Hustler. Poison Nova will come. Hustler, can you find the Split Earth? Should be able to though. He pops the Edict first. Cuckoo has been slowed down enough. In fact, no, he hasn't. He's still outrunning them. Hustler, which way are you going? Cuckoo's looked to turn it now. The Gale comes up, but no, he may have extended. No, in fact, he hasn't. He'll find both of them. Oh, Cuckoo, how dare you, sir?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Bot lane though, X-Boat is going to be there on a Alacrity. He's a big target to go after. Ghost Shroud will not come out yet, but there it is. He's still sustaining throughout all this. In fact, he's healing up, but here comes Raven. He finds a massive chrono onto 2. They'll get Alacrity. They'll find KYXY. Nuts came in to try and help out, but it looks like he screwed himself over. They get the X-Torrent, and he's certainly going down as well. In Geek Fam, it kind of looked a bit wonky at the start, John, but it looks like they have found their momentum.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That's good faster now.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under
Going after Hustler, actually doing a fair bit of damage to that stolen cold feed, and they just burst him down. So here comes Drew trying to find the trade. Zephyr, he will go. Cuckoo, you've got to try and juke and jive out of this one. Drew, stop, will not actually connect. Drew's just going to make a run for it now. Can they lock him down? The X, he's just barely out of range. Drew's so close yet so far. There's the X, he finally got it into the boat as well. Drew still looking fairly healthy right now, but here comes Raven. Dubu trying to find a block. It looks like Drew's still managing to survive somehow. KYXY just keeping him alive throughout all this, and Geek Fam will not find the kill.
nice.
He certainly does, John. Still with that Maelstrom up, it will escalate his farm quite a bit. The Sven, Drew just trying to finish off that Sergeant Yasha, which was buffed so much in this new patch. How much value in that Sergeant Yasha now? So RR gonna start pushing in that top lane. Looks like they have not really lost confidence in themselves quite yet, but Geek Fam are setting up for another team fight. They have the chrono up once again, and you know he doesn't want it on cooldown. He will jump in at that tier 2 tower. Hustler, he'll stick around for now, but the X does come out, and the bashes fly out from Raven as well. They'll find one. Rest of RR are just going to back off to safety once again. Mid lane. Alacrity won't get caught out by Zephyr. I think the Death Pulse being given away to the Rubik. Looks like Geek Fam are more than happy to also play this farm game for a bit. I mean, they've got a Void after all. No reason to force any fight if you don't have to. But mid lane, there is a fight that has been forced. In fact, they find Dubu on the Elder Titan. Nice pick up there by the side of RR. Can they find anything else out of this? They are heading towards that Roshan pit, and yeah, they're going for it. KYXY picks up a regen rune and gets started straight away. The mango tree is still there, though. With that, they have to back off. We'll talk to Ice Frog later, John, about this mango.
Radiant are scanning.
Top lane though, Cuckoo.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
There's a smoke. Cuckoo is going to avoid it for now. Hustler understands he's around somewhere. The Iron Sparks will not scout him out, and he will manage the TP. It's going to be a fair amount of time wasted for the side of RR. And with that, GeekFam do understand that the top lane is probably going to get pushed in now. They'll be ready for a team fight again. They still have the chrono up and ready to go.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
That's not good. Cuckoo slowing down Hustler, just keeping vision on him. Raven is running his way up top. In fact, no, he'll just start farming the jungle instead. Hustler, so low, the stomp, they'll use him up. Hustler somehow still alive throughout all this, but he runs into the Meadow Wards. He's going to try and fight this out. It will be to no avail though. Zephyr will go ahead and pick up the kill, and that is his blink deck now on the Rubik. Stormhammer flying out, but there's the Expo from Ryoyo. It will connect on the spin, and now the stop jewel though is going to be on Cuckoo. He couldn't get the poison sting off. In fact, never mind, he did. And there's Raven. He gets the 3-man chrono. Paintball do it all as well. He needs more damage. The Reaper side Cuckoo, he will eventually drop. KYXY will do the same though. Now Alacrity, he's been caught out. He's got nowhere to go except down, and that is exactly where he does go. In fact, where is that Jewel Zephyr? He's still some damage for himself. He found nuts. And with that, a 4-for-1 trade and 18 jewel damage.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Hustler. This will be there, but he got the Spirit of Pulse Nova off. Now the Pulse Nova is stolen, but that's not what he wanted, and Zephyr should go down. Dupu does get a stomp off, but he needs some help. He's going to keep playing around with this Lash. Well, here comes Raven, but he may lose his own life in the process, though no Hustler. He hasn't found it yet, and well, looks like he is going to be slowed down by Raven. He does go down, and now Nuts actually ensnares the Void up, but Cuckoo comes in as well to try and help out. The AA should eventually just go down, but never mind. Alacrity's here now with the Arcane, the Guardian Greaves. Still Cuckoo, just keeping him slowed up.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
But Alacrity will not allow his teammate to die. Yeah, I mean, it's basically been GeekFam's way most of the game. Only slight net worth lead for RR earlier on, but GeekFam eventually just took over. Win probability right now sitting at 77% the way of GeekFam, 23 the way of RR. This Dire side is not slowing down at all. Raven has the Vampire Fangs up, has his BKB up, and he's going straight into a Lincoln Spear after that. So he does not want to be disrupted at all within these team fights. So a bit more coordination will be necessary from RR to at least break that Lincoln's first before you try for the Jewel or the Reaper Scythe.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Now the mid-tier one.
Are fortified.
Fortification will be forced. There's no real rotation coming in though, apart from Hustler.
Radiant's middle
They will let it go down. Zephyr, they're smoked up, though Drew hiding, though Zephyr knows he's there and he gets the lift off. Ryoyo now, X-Smoke is going to be there, he pops the God Strength, but is it going to be enough? In fact, never mind, it was the War Cry. Drew probably understands he's dead, but he's going to try and make a run for it. And so far, so good, he's actually outrunning them. Has the chrono, he slows him down, doesn't really want to commit the chrono for one, and he will not. They will find the kill thanks to Zephyr on the Rubik. On top, Cuckoo was coming after the AA. Didn't commit the Poison Nova. We'll just allow him to TP up. Geek bet, they will go into the Rook Sharp hit now.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
John, just casually, how long do mango trees live? I mean, really, this mango tree is still here giving mangoes out. Okay, well, XY looking to go in, but the BKB's popped by Raven. They at least stole the Roshan kill. Up, the rest of Geek Fam are out of there, and in fact, Zephyr finds Hustler down at the bot lane with Cuckoo. They do end up finding the Leshrac while all that was happening. But back to the main point, when does this mango tree die?
I deserve this.
KYXY gonna be caught out. Raven has the chrono if it's required. Seems like it will not be required though, and KYXY understands he is just dead. And this is beginning to get scarier and scarier for Reality Rift, John. They're 7k behind now. It just seems like no team fights are going their way. And this is without the Void Ultimate being used.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Haste.
Are they planning for a smoke?
Radiant's
Looks like they are.
bottom tower is under attack.
They know exactly where Geek them are. Raven gonna cop an Ice Blast. Still though, not gonna back off this tier 2. He's still got an Aegis available just in case. They will happily take it for free. Do you pursue for more though if you're Geek Fam? It looks like they will hold out for a bit.
Man, that's a lot of tier 3 items on Geek Fam. They've already got, I believe, yeah, the Orb of Destruction up on Ryoyo, so you've got a good amount of minus armor and slow. You've got the Dragon Scale on him as well, so there's some burn damage that could go on the tower. And then you've also got a lot more. It's just a lot right now falling into Geek Fam's favor, just from the jungle as well. So the odds are stacked up against Reality Rift. They are trying to get the split push going with Hustler. Issue is when you split push against a Venom, it's hard. He just drops wards and your push just kind of stops.
He's gonna keep trying. XY is there and just kind of hoping that someone pops out and tries to defend this wave, but like you said, the Venom wards are gonna be enough.
Regeneration!
Both teams just getting set up for those outposts. Currently, Geek Fam, they will control 2 of them. Just going to allow them to get so much more bonus XP. Not to mention, of course, another TP location and vision. Looks like they're giving the Helm of the Undying from the Rubik. Could be interesting to see what he could do with that added time after he dies.
Oh, he can do a lot, for sure. I mean, we've seen what he can do in these fights. Now he can go in without worrying about dying straight up. He's got 5 seconds to do so much more, and those 5 seconds are enough for a hero like Rubik.
Apparently, KYXY has a repair kit, John, and it restores building HP. Yeah, right.
Sweet. Yeah, they're gonna need that, because they have lost a lot of ground. You're gonna need to repair these towers at some point.
Can't repair towers if they're not there, John.
Oh boy.
Geek man. They're grouping up top lane. They spot out Nuts. It should be a very easy response to that AA, and that is exactly what it's going to be. Side of RR just trying to get away from that location. Don't give any more kills away to the side of Geek Fam though. Hustler does spot out Cuckoo, but they're fighting over those outposts. Raven will come in as well. It looks like Hustler hasn't timed this perfectly as he would have hoped. He does give another kill away. Meanwhile, top lane once again, Ryoya being chased down. Dubi will get a nice stop off onto the Sven, but they are still chasing this Kunkka. So can they find him though? It looks like Drew will go after Dubu instead. Get the Elder Titan first. Now, who do you go for? It looks like Cuckoo will be the target, but they can't get in range to actually duel him up yet. Still Cuckoo running, flinks away. Stormhammer will come out, but Zephyr is there to help and throws another Stormhammer out. Alacrity now, Reaper's side will get it off, but Cuckoo, he does use the Poison Nova. Somehow still alive throughout this Cuckoo. He'll use up now. KYXY though, he is there with the Jewel this time around and will finally find the kill, but they've left Drew alone. Is there enough damage to take down this Sven? Probably not, as Ryoya is the only real core there. Though as I say that, Raven has made his way up and has the Chrono available. Ghost Round will be there from Alacrity. It looks like the Chrono won't be necessary, as they will find another kill. And it looked like a very even trade between the two. In fact, it was a 2-for-2 trade. And RR really didn't get as much as you would have hoped out of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a slight win. You managed to get away with your Sven. Does find a couple of really key kills to push him up there. Still not the game-changing fight you'd expect. In fact, Drew's in a rough spot right now.
Gets lifted up by Zephyr. Stormhammer is there from Zephyr as well. Dubu gonna try and hold him down, but Drew does have support coming in. Won't find the stomp. Raven though is there with the Chrono, but Drew is waiting. Looks like they'll back off for a bit. Uh-oh, Ryoya's got the Aghanim
Oh,
Scepter
man.
job. Here we go. The Torrent Storm is now available, ladies and gentlemen. This should be a bit of fun.
Oh man. Oh, that's gonna be interesting to see.
It's a pretty ridiculous spell, to say the least. And with the Chrono as well, I mean, having the Torrent Storm and the Chrono, as even the Stomp from the Elder Titan, could be devastating. It's just,
Is under attack.
there's a lot of things happening in an AoE that RR have to think about.
Yeah, and it combines really well. It combines really well with the Chronos as well, right? They're all stuck in a static area. You're going to be spawning torrents every, what, 0.25 seconds, if I read at Ags right? Yeah. So that's just kind of annoying, to say the least.
Speaking of annoying, Hustler, he's still trying to run out this top lane, but there will be an immediate rotation. Cuckoo doesn't find the Gale on Hustler.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Just due to that split push, Hustler will be able to stop that mid-tier 2 from being pushed in too far by the Geek Fam. Looks like Hustler isn't backing off though. Him and KYXY looking for another target. They know Cuckoo's around somewhere. Cuckoo, did he show himself? Looks like it won't matter. He does manage to get away. Smoke will come out from Geek Fam. I believe that may have been spotted by the Observer Ward up on this high ground, just barely perhaps. Though, are waiting. Smoke does break by Alacrity. Top lane. Hustler getting caught out by Cuckoo. KYXY is still around the area, but here comes Raven hoping for a bash, and he does get it. Hustler has no way out. He's going down. KYXY will just immediately TP up, but they'll go into the mid lane now. Cuckoo trying to set up onto Drew. Ice Blast won't connect. Back, the Gale will be there. He's going back in now. Hex as well coming out. They're going for Foreign, won't connect. Instead of trying for the team fight, Geek then realize we'll just go for a Roshan.
Yeah, and again, no vision from RR to spot that one out entirely, so it's not going to be contested. Another free Roche going away of Geek Fan.
Immortality.
That mango tree is still there dropping mangoes.
Oh yeah.
Dude is just gonna walk past. He's had enough mangoes for one day.
I mean, they haven't chopped it. RR just hasn't managed to take the time to go out there.
I don't think they've seen it.
So, yeah, no, I don't think they walked in that area of the Roche pit, so they haven't seen that tree.
Raven, you up to sir?
Radiant's middle
I'm
tower.
gonna try and find Drew, but Drew will be in safety's range. Looks like that T2 mid tower has been healed up by KYXY or whoever else is holding the repair kit. That'll actually be the Ancient Apparition. Taking himself to now up on Zephyr, so you've got that very, very low cooldown ultimate, stealing a spell every 2 seconds. Daedalus will pop out on the spin, so Drew now does actually have some form of real damage. Pump out.
Radiant's middle tower.
The question is how the hell is he going to get in there and do it?
I mean, he didn't opt for something like the Blink, so his mobility is the biggest issue for RR right now. He just can't counterfight too well. He has to find a way to sneak into that fight, and to be fair, Blink would be very hard to use with a Van Mentor around. Still, it just limits his options and how to approach these fights.
Raven starting on the tier 3, still no real defense coming out from the side of RR. I imagine they probably will just back off after this tier 3 is gone, but maybe not. Because there are 3 heroes down at the bot lane. They're not really here to defend. So Raven, he'll go easily take down Nuts. And now they have TP back down, but they're going to lose the range racks as well. And I'd hate to sound like a broken record, but we still have the Chrono available on Raven.
Yeah, it's actually one of those rare moments where Raven has not needed to pop this spell. So the threat is always there.
Dickens is broken. Drew will give the stun away. Now they found Hustler on the left track. He was trying to sneak in behind him. Still got strength being popped. Drew, he wants to find a target, but there's the Chrono. Straight off the bat, Stomp is there as well. Now Reaper side that they'll take down Zephyr, but Drew is falling rather low. Now the Torrent Storm comes in. How do you fight into this, John? The Warlord right now. Hustler trying to outrun them. Raven, who do you go for? He'll try for Alacrity. The side device is there. Ice Blast will fly out. Hustler is going to try and fight all 4 by himself, but that's not how Leshrac works anymore. And he will go down. Alacrity now being caught out by the Yules. Surrounded. He's just gone. And I think this game may be over. They're going to try and buy back. But I think Geek Fan will be the first team to take a game off RR without these close qualifiers.
Yeah, it does look that way. They do have bought back on their Legion Commander, but it's not flying out. That should be it. That definitely should be it. Bit rough for RR.
Up the place. They do find the Necrophos Alacrity. He can't go straight in time. No, in fact he can. Can he survive though? He'll break the Linkers of the Void, but how do you defend this Ancient now? Alacrity gets X back into the boat. He goes down. There's only KYXY left, and that is definitely coming out. So Geek Bam